Alright, I can't even remember what happened after I made that last video yesterday, other than I did a bunch of programming, and then I had my members, my Power Automate script running forever. I even went to sleep and let it run while I was asleep. And Facebook knocked me for excessive activity after what would that be? Maybe 8 hours of running this or something like that. I don't know, 6 or 8 hours. I can't keep track. And so that has me a tiny bit on the fence as to if they know I'm doing my projects, as if they're waiting on me as I previously thought. I'm not sure, but I can tell you that when I first started doing this data collection back in 2020 and actually mostly in 2020, that I did it before I picked it up the second time. That Facebook would flag me very early on in the process. I wouldn't be able to get next to anything done. They sure as hell wouldn't let me go for 6 or 8 hours, or like on this thing where I'm collecting the members list spreadsheets. It let me go for it was several hours as well. But anyhow, you see here I've got this processed here. What happens is I've been collecting data for my one of these autism groups, and every time it searches for a letter combination, it marks it as processed. That's what my Power Automate script does. So I've got it's called the member search, and what it does is it pulls up the web page. And actually, I'll go ahead and run this. I want to put it over here in this other monitor, and I'll get it running, and I'll explain to you what it does as it's doing it. Okay, let me see here something here real quick. Here, hold just a second. Okay, here. I'll get this running. And the first thing that it does is it pulls up the group that I'm working on, pulls up the members tab. Now it does an automated search for the 2-letter combination. It scrolls all the way down to the bottom, and I've got an algorithm for the scrolling process. You have different combinations. You have to scroll longer or shorter, and I tried to tweak it so that it would never not get the full list. I've got an algorithm in here, but it's basically just keep searching, keep scrolling down until it's no longer loading members, and then it will save it. So once this gets down to the bottom, you will see down here on the bottom left, you'll see it saving the file. And I'll let it do about 2 of these. Okay, and again, with this algorithm, sometimes it has timeouts where it takes it longer than necessary to do it, because I have to apply a one-size-fits-all solution to every combination of letters, when every combination of letters will return a different number of users. Now, some of them will just return 4 or 5 users. Others will return, several thousand. And right now I'm on DA, and another problem I've got is I'm noticing some of these letter combinations are duplicates. Essentially, they're unique. When I compiled the letter combinations, I had to compile them based on their uniqueness. And what I'm finding is I've got I've got a capital DA, and then I've got a capital D with a lowercase a. And there are instances like that where it's basically the same thing over and over. So I'm not going to get any new members from this search that's going on right now. But just to show you what it does, and it'll keep going. So right now we've got over. We're getting close to 9. Okay, so now it's at the bottom. Now what happens is See here, I've got this scrolling, how many times it scrolls down. It goes through iterations. And so now it is, the index is on 35. It's got to get to 85. Let it keep going. There's a 54, 55, 60. It's past 70. It's almost there. 81. Okay, so I'll move it over here so you can see when it saves the file. It's going to go to the bottom. Now what it does is it waits a second to check make sure it's at the bottom of the page. Runs the JavaScript. The next function after it waits, it runs JavaScript, and it's going to have it as at the bottom. Here, I'll show you. Okay, well actually it just ran by it. Okay. So now it's going to, let's see the file in the bottom left corner here. It saves the HTML file. It saves it with this application called Single File. I have this thing programmed to enter a keyboard shortcut to trigger Single File to load the page. I'm sorry, to save the page. Okay, and so now it's going on to our next combination. And let's see what this one is. Okay, so this is already at the bottom. Okay, see what I'm saying? It doesn't, there aren't hardly any, now wait a minute, I may have screwed it up when I clicked on my application. Okay, I've screwed this thing up, hold on. Let me get this SQL here. When I clicked on this to drag it up there, it moved my cursor off of the the search box up here. So here I'll just run it again. It'll pick up where it left off. And actually, let me go here. Find DA here. Where's DA? Okay, this is the one that got marked that I didn't search for because of my mess it up. So now let's start with this one. So update that one. Okay. So here we'll run it again, and this time I won't click on it. I clicked on this one automate and it took my thing away. Okay, took the cursor away. So now it's searching for LL. Okay, so see it's already at the bottom on this one. So now I'll go to the next one. So now we're at JR. Okay, so now that one gets a quick set of results. And I want to redo this letter combinations table after this group. I want to have it to where it doesn't have duplicates for lower and uppercase. These letters that have diacritics. There's not much I can do there, I don't think. Maybe there is. Actually, there probably is. So now it's on to the next one after this. And so now it's waiting. It's going to go and see if it's at the bottom. Okay, now here it's going to scroll. Scroll another 35 times. And what happens is every time that it scrolls and it doesn't get to the bottom, it'll scroll a certain number of times. If it doesn't get to the bottom, the number of scrolls gets upped. So here it's going to scroll 35 times. It's on scroll number 18 right now. And if after 35 it's not at the bottom, it gets upped and it'll scroll another 60 times. And then if it scrolls 60 times, it's not at the bottom, it scrolls another 85 times. And I've got different things in here that get tweaked in terms of the wait times and stuff and how I check for the bottom. Because the more members you load, the harder it is to get to the bottom. I'm sorry, the longer it takes you to get to the bottom, the longer it takes the members to load on each successive load. So I've got it adjusting that every time so now it's going to go 60. It's on loop number 14 of 60. I've scrolled down. Okay, so it's still at the bottom here. We're apparently on a pretty intensive name-getting combination here. I don't know what it is. Is it an EM? Is that what this is? It's looking for? I don't know. We'll look after this gets done. We'll see what the letters are. And so now it's scrolling 85 times. It's on scroll number 18 of 85. If it doesn't get to the bottom now, it's going to scroll to 110. Okay, all I'm going to do for this video, if you want to cut this off, I'm just going to let this get to the very end of this particular letter combination, however long it takes it to scroll to the bottom. And I'm going to cut this off and I'll start another video on the next topic. Okay, it's still at the bottom. It's on 85 out of 85, and so now it's going to find it's not at the bottom, and it's going to actually, is it at the bottom? Nope. So we're got 110. The scroll count goes to 110 more scrolls. We're up to approximately 1,271 users. So I'll scroll 53, 54, 55, 56, 57. On 63, it's got to get to 110. You see what I'm talking about? How it takes it longer and longer to load every time. Okay, so now it's at 93. Okay, so now it's at the bottom, and it looks like, see that by Tiffany Stevenson, we got her again. These letter combinations are 2-letter combinations. Some of them will bring up the exact same the exact same user on your different combinations will get the same user on the list. But hopefully this is somewhat unique. I'm going to get this down here. It's going to check for the bottom. We'll find them right at the bottom. We got about 2,000 members on this list. Okay, so there it goes. It's saving. We're done.